G'day guys, Silly Swagman here with another episode of the Alton Edit, and today we have Luke, owner of the YouTube channel Luke's Little Tribe. How we going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good to see you again.
Thank you, you too.
So, just to start off, if you could tell everyone about the channel, what it's all about, what you're all about, how it started.
Yep, sure. So I have a channel called Luke's Little Tribe, and basically camping and outdoor stuff, but specifically with a kind of a niche of taking little kids out hiking and wild camping. I've got 3 little kids and I love taking them outdoors, and so really just wanted to encourage other parents as well who have little kids to get them outdoors and specifically hiking and stuff. And yeah, I just think it's great for kids, and pretty passionate about fatherhood as well. And yeah, I know we just live in a crazy age of, digital AI and virtual reality, and I just think kids just need to be steeped in the outdoors more and more. So yeah, started up a little channel, and yeah, just take my kids out in Victoria, where I'm from.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember when I stumbled across your channel, that's what I really liked about it. I thought it was because I'm passionate about the outdoors, I thought it was great to see someone taking their kids out there, and you're not just sort of opening the outdoors up to the kids, but you're showing the parents what you can do, even with kids in tow. Yep. And I think you're sort of like showing it to the extreme as well. Yeah. But you're still having a great time out there.
Absolutely. And I think, look, kids are, they can do a lot more than you think. I think sometimes when you think of camping with kids, little kids, you think of, official kind of campgrounds and stuff, and that's great. I do that as well, but I like to push it a bit and try and get the kids out to remote places, and just to show that, with a little bit of caution and care, you can do that.
Yeah, that's it. And they learn really quickly like what they're actually capable of as well, and it instills in you a little bit more trust as well. Let them just do their own thing.
There's a good quote, something along the lines of let kids do dangerous things carefully. And I think that kind of plays into that. It helps them to know their limits, know what they're capable of, and
Yeah, that's a great one actually. And so, what made you start the channel? Is that the first thing you sort of done with videography and editing? Or?
No, so I have a bit of a background in filmmaking. I do some freelance stuff, and I was doing a lot of like video work for charities and NGOs and stuff like that. But I've always done little adventure videos, even when I was a teenager and out surfing and stuff. I'd bring the camera along and make little clips. So I had that background of filmmaking already going into this, and it was at the start of, I think, 2020, where I just come back from overseas and to come live in Australia again. And I was thinking, what do I want to do with my channel? And it was actually channels like yourself and Scotty's that inspired me to go back and do the hiking stuff, but bring the kids along with me. So and that kind of just kicked it off, and it's just rolled from there.
And so when you say you were doing sort of like adventuring stuff, because I remember you telling me a story about when you were younger and you sort of just went out on foot and started living along the coast.
Yeah. So when I was, I think 21, I was doing the whole partying thing in Melbourne and just got off it really quickly and said, I'm leaving all this behind. And I spent 7 months walking and hitchhiking from Melbourne up to, I think it was Cooktown, up in far north Queensland. And I'd go and that was when I got really into the kind of survival stuff and bushcraft and do these adventures, go out into these remote places. And I remember the last trip I did was somewhere just south of Cooktown. And I went out to this remote beach for 2 weeks straight, didn't bring any water or food, and I wanted to just kind of live off the land for the 2 weeks. And it was a bit of a challenge, and I'm really happy that I did that as well. So
What did you sort of experience while you were out on a trip? Like, if you didn't take food and water, what were you doing?
Yeah, well, the big one was I didn't bring any. I think I turned my phone off, or I let it run out of battery, so I had no nothing to occupy the mind except for the environment. And it's amazing where the reflection you can do and where your mind can go when you have nothing to distract you. And I think that was one of the biggest things, and just learning how to schedule out your day when you just out bush with nothing else.
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it was a great experience, I think. Worthwhile.
Yeah, right. How old did you say you were when you did that?
21, 22.
Yeah, right. And how old are you now?
I'm 36, I believe.
36.
I think so.
So, and so you've had these experiences and you're wanting to kind of encourage your kids, maybe not to have the same experience, but
hope better.
Learn from the outdoors what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's unreal. So taking the kids out on the camping trips and filming that, did it sort of start with the idea of the YouTube channel, or were you filming for
no.
memories and just to play with the camera?
Again, yeah, probably to play with the camera and creating memories as well. I love getting out there. To be honest, there's a bit of a selfish aspect to it because I love getting out camping, right?
Yeah.
And with 3 little kids, it's kind of hard, like leaving all 3 of them with my wife. She's very supportive of it, and that's great. But it makes it a lot more easier for me to get away if I take one of the kids with me, because then she's more likely to be cool with it. And so yeah, there's that kind of selfish aspect of, oh, if I take the kids with me, I can go camping. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Takes that pressure off you so you can actually enjoy it.
I do love the solo stuff as well, though, getting out and doing it, and collabs with mates and that.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and we'll get to that. I've noticed because I've been on one with you, which is
too.
awesome. Just for anybody who hasn't stumbled onto the channel yet, how old are your kids? Like, what sort of age group are we looking
at? Got an 8-year-old boy, got a 6-year-old little girl, and I've got a 4-year-old little boy.
Yeah.
So I think the youngest I've taken them out was my 4-year-old. When he was 2, I took him up into the Vico High Country, which ended up being a bit of a sketchy trip because we got surrounded by a pack of wild dogs at night time. We were in the swag, and there was a high country hut near us though, so we just shifted into the hut about 3 a.m. in the morning. So,
wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah.
But it goes to show, like, you don't have to wait for them to be teenagers to sort of
absolutely not
get them out in the canoes or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
that's the stuff that they'll remember no matter how sort of young they are, because that's the stuff I remember from going out fishing and whatnot with Dad. And you could literally be 10 minutes down the road, but you feel like you're in another world, sort of thing.
And it's the digital memories as well that we have that we can look back on in years to come, which is really special.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you take little stills and make photos and stuff for that.
Exactly.
And so with the solo stuff, do you want to tell the people about that, what you generally do with the solo videos and adventures?
Yeah, well, I've noticed with the channel, one of the things that seems to pick up a bit of a gain and audience, a bigger audience, is I like doing these kind of historical reenactment camps of the old swagmen.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing a few trips like that where I try and gather gear that you could have gotten the late 1800s or early 1900s and go camping with that, make my own like oilskin swags, and I love doing that kind of old Australiana swagman type trips as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Where are you getting some of that gear? I know you've made the tarp and stuff like that.
Yeah, so antique shops, some of them I make them myself, how they would have made them back in the day, and
that's cool.
Online. You can buy a lot of cool vintage stuff online as well.
Yeah.
So.
And that's obviously like a personal interest of yours as well.
Look, I'm fascinated with the history of this country, whether it's Indigenous people and how they not only survived out in the bush, but they raised families. Like, it's hard enough to raise 3 little kids in modern society.
Yeah.
Imagine raising kids out in the bush.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. But then also, just the old, the settlers and the swagmen and how they adapted to this harsh landscape. I find it very fascinating. I've got stacks of like old books at home in my library of just Australian folklore and stuff like that. So
you can definitely tell by the appearance, the influence it's telling you. You look like
Ned Kelly look.
Yeah, fully look like you walked out of the 1800s or something.
I was born in the wrong time era, I think.
Going back to like taking the kids out and stuff, do you have any sort of tips that you can share with maybe parents that are thinking about taking the kids out, not just to a caravan park or whatever?
Sure. Know their limits. So I cater my trips depending on my kids. So my daughter doesn't really like walking long distances, so we hop in the kayak a lot and do a kayak trip. And just knowing what they're capable of, bringing little creature comforts kind of things for them, little teddy bear, or I bring a book often to read for them, and just it keeps them relaxed. But the kids will feed off your energy. If they see that Dad's happy, Dad's relaxed, Dad's having fun, they do the same thing. And even if something's gone terribly wrong and you know it, you're playing it cool. So, so that
don't trigger him.
They're all good.
And it's cool because watching your videos, even when you take the kids out, it hits their bedtime. They're in the tent, especially in the outdoors once the sun goes down, and they're ready to crash out, and you still get that moment to yourself around the campfire.
They are probably my favourite moments when I take my kids out. They go to bed, have a whiskey or a beer, something like that, and sit around the fire, and it's nice and quiet, and I can just reflect and look at the stars.
So that's important.
I definitely need that. You need that as a...
Oh, no doubt. And that's really important for parents and families who are thinking about taking the kids out. Just know that you if you're lucky, I guess,
Yeah.
that you'll get that little slice to actually really enjoy it for yourselves as well. Yeah, which is awesome. Now, you've just gotten back from overseas.
Yes, that's right.
So where were you, and what's the story also with where you were?
So I was in Uganda in East Africa. I lived there for 10 years. I met my wife over there.
Yeah.
I was doing youth work. My wife was doing community development work. We were working for an NGO, setting up a youth centre there, and so working with a lot of the young guys over there. So 10 years of my life over there, which was an amazing time, pretty full on at times, but it was also just awesome to see the environment over there. I always feel like there's something very primal about Africa and Australia, like the landscapes, something very ancient about both of the landscapes.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities sometimes I find. And even just the local people over there, you know, for those of us who are into bushcraft, we sometimes do it as a hobby, a weekend hobby kind of thing. But over there, people in the rural communities, it's like bushcraft is a way of life. It's how they survive. It's how they, you know, get by. And speaking of that, I've got a present for you all the way from Uganda. So I'm actually wearing two of these hats right now. I bought one just for you, mate, because I thought you'd like this. So this is made from some kind of a bark from a local tree over there.
No,
so
legit.
This is a bushcraft hat.
Oh my gosh. I thought that, I was looking at your hat and I thought it was like felt or something.
Yeah, no, it's bark.
Do you know how they make that?
I'm not sure, but like I said, they're making stuff like this all
I
the
need
time,
you to make one for me. No,
Yeah.
mate, thank you. That is unreal.
I thought you'd appreciate
That's
that.
going on the head.
How do we look?
All right, this is not coming off forever. So, that is the best gift ever.
Looks good.
I can't believe that's made of bark.
Yeah, it's like tree bark.
So, sorry, how long were you over there for this recent trip?
Right, so I went there for 7 weeks just to catch up with the organisation. While I was there, I did a big trip in the mountains as well, which was awesome. Just this big ancient volcano mountain that I hiked through for a couple of days, and just amazing to see how the people lived up on the mountain. Like it was like going back in time, really, like a few thousand years, how people would have lived. So
yeah, I've watched those, and I know YouTube likes you to be very niche. I know, like we've all got this battle going on, and for whatever reason, well, that's the reason. Like those videos haven't done quite as well as like your more sort of iconic Australian stuff.
yeah.
But to me, it's so wild because one, when you first posted it and I just saw a thumbnail of it, I was so excited to watch it. And I think like you had the tour guides taking you, like the locals, so they had that local knowledge. It was so interesting. So go on there and check out those videos because they're actually unreal and it's just so cool. You see the huts that they're living in and it's incredible. It is. It's like going back in time. It's
the funny nature of YouTube, isn't it? That you can go on this epic adventure and this passion project and pour your heart and soul into it, and it's like, it doesn't really take off. And you camp down the backyard. You know, we've got a bit of bushland on our farm. Camp down there, and that video will go off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but you just need to remember that a trip like that, like you're doing for yourself.
Did it for myself,
and that
definitely.
comes across on the videos. So that was unreal. Do you have any tips for anyone looking to start a YouTube channel, even if it's just like in terms of like just starting out, not necessarily with gear, but just the idea of starting one?
I guess work out what you want to do the YouTube channel for, and then what are your expectations? And if you have that set out, you won't be disappointed. Is it just for fun? Is it just for a creative outlet? Are you actually interested in trying to use it to make some money off it? Have those expectations set out first. And then I guess just find a niche and find something that you're passionate about. If you're passionate about that thing. I'm telling you, if I wasn't passionate about what I'm doing, I would have quit my channel last year.
100%.
But I'm addicted to it. I have to keep making videos just because it's what fuels me. It's what, I just find the creative process of it, just a positive thing for my life to have that. Yeah.
Matt, I've only known you a little while now, but like all that shines through. And to me, it's like, that's who you are.
Cheers,
and really enjoying the content. And keep it coming.
Awesome.
Do you have anything planned big coming up, or what's the next adventure?
No, I actually do. Not necessarily the next adventure, but I am going to be, due to some circumstances, very fortunate circumstances, I'm able to do this. I'm going down to 2 days a week working, and I'm going to really invest in the channel for the rest of the days of the week. And just the brand as well, Luke's Little Tribe, and see if I can also look into other things like guided tours with dads and their kids and stuff like that. But I'm going to invest pretty heavily into the channel this year, and I want to do a lot more of the kind of traditional swagman trips, and hopefully I might see you as well, and we might do a few trips this year.
I'll be down in Victoria soon. Don't worry about that.
I will show you the beautiful high country, Victorian high country.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're over in Uganda for 10 years.
Yes.
How long into that was it when you met your wife? Your now wife?
Probably I spent about 1.5 years over there before I met my wife. We were both doing the same kind of work. I was doing youth work, she was doing community development work. So naturally we both had a passion for that, and so it all kicked off.
And so what were like the living arrangements? I'm just trying to picture this place.
So I was actually living on a beautiful spot right on the shores of Lake Victoria, which is the second biggest freshwater lake in the world, I believe.
Wow.
But we were right near where the River Nile flows out of Lake Victoria. So
I'm already terrified.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful place, very lush and very green. We were living kind of on the outskirts of a city, so more rural, which is what exactly what I love. So just being in the natural kind of environment, and a few wildlife and stuff over there as well that we were around.
And what did you encounter while you're over there?
So we don't have the big game where we are, like the lions and elephants and that. They're more in the national parks. But because we were on the lake, we did have hippos and crocs. And actually one time I was swimming in Lake Victoria, and I just got this real strange kind of, I don't know, a sixth sense type thing, like I've got to get out of the water, this is not right. And the only other time I've ever had that feeling was surfing in Australia when there's been a shark in the water. Anyway, a week later at that same spot, one of the local fishermen got taken and eaten by a croc. So the wildlife authorities came in, and they actually tracked this croc down because it had taken 6 people in our area over the last few years, and they baited it and they caught it, and it was, I think the BBC reported on it, it was a 1-ton croc, so big Lord. Croc,
What?
Yeah, but I was very impressed that because over there, life is a bit more harsh. I thought maybe they're going to kill it, but they actually transported it up to a national park because they're like, this thing is a beauty, we've got to keep this alive. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I had a mate as well who had his arm broken by a hippo as well while out fishing.
What?
So,
So, all right, so you've got the local fishermen going out there and stuff like, were you partaking in any of this fishing for the food for where you were, or was that supplied?
Yeah. So I've actually got a video on YouTube where I went out with the local fishermen in their dugout canoes, and they just taught me how they do their local fishing, and they make these really cool fishing rods just out of bamboo and a bit of line, and they fill their boats up. We'd go out at night as well. When the moon's out. And it's really peaceful actually out there on the lake at night with the moon and catching all these fish. And very much a community that lives off what they can grow, what they can catch, what they can hunt as well. So.
And what is, like, I know you said it was more rural where you were, but what was sort of like the daily routine for you and the locals, I suppose?
Yeah, right. Well, because I was working in a youth centre, I was doing a lot of youth work. My wife did a lot of stuff with young women, whereas I kind of did a lot of stuff with the young guys, and we'd set up little programs and stuff. I actually would teach some of the young guys filmmaking as well, and there was a few times I actually took them out camping, and they just absolutely loved that, getting outdoors and camping. So I did kind of infuse that passion for the outdoors and filmmaking into the youth work as well. So it was very casual and very laid back over there. It's very different to sometimes Western life where everything is very fast paced and scheduled and organised. It's like, it's just very cruisy over there. Yeah,
they know what they need to get done when, and
you rock up when you rock up. And
that's so, I can't believe that.
You'd love it. It'd suit you.
Oh, I bet. And 10 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, it is,
And what made you want to come back to Australia? Were you just ready to?
Primarily, it was about getting my kids into school. There wasn't a lot of good education opportunities for our kids over there. And it was time. I was very tired as well. Look, the nature of what I was doing over there, dealing with a lot of pretty heavy issues with youth work and stuff. And
of course.
So moving back here now, I actually work on a farm.
Yep.
My old man has a farm. We actually live on the farm with my folks, my family, in separate houses. And he basically pays me to do all the farm labour work. And it's so different from where I've come from. But it's really nice to just have a peaceful job where I'm by myself out in the farm.
Not in an office.
Yeah, nice and quiet, and kangaroos jumping past me. And
that's unreal. Yeah. What sort of farm is it? Like what's going on there?
Okay, so it's what you call like a bit of a homestead type of farm,
nice.
A hobby farm. So a bit of a mixture of everything. We'll have cattle. We've got the chooks, and we're growing food. We just installed a big fruit enclosure for fruit trees. So trying to, we probably will sell a little bit of produce, but it's also really about a lifestyle choice and being able to grow our own stuff to eat.
Be self-sustainable.
Yeah, as much as possible. Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
I'm actually really jealous of that. That's
cool.
mate,
you've got to come down to the farm. And
I will.
Have a look.
Yeah, your parents have given me the AOK
Absolutely,
to swing on by.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see you this year.
And you've got some dogs.
We do. We actually just adopted a little kelpie. So little kelpie that was abandoned at a cattle yard.
Yeah.
And a company that that gets dogs and sends them out, adopts them out. Sent him to us, and he's a beautiful. She's a beautiful little kelpie called Bingo.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've got a border collie as well.
So Bingo's going to a good home.
Yes, she has. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. And so before, like the YouTube channel and sort of working on your parents' farm and all that, what were you doing before all of this?
So that was Africa for 10 years.
Yep.
And then before that was pretty much travelling around Australia. I've done a lot of travelling around Australia as well.
Yep.
This is straight after school, and I was big into surfing and bodyboarding actually. That was probably where my passion for the outdoors started.
Yeah.
Camping as a kid, but also in my teenage years, just surfing and exploring the coastline. And that is, really where I got the love for the outdoors from. And it was probably into my, 20s where I started exploring more like hiking and wild camping and stuff like that. So.
And so was most of that solo, or was it with like groups of mates?
We'd live in, a little car, and for 2 months at a time on the south coast of New South Wales.
Yeah, right.
Live very cheaply. And
I was going to say, so like getting money work-wise was more just like jobs here and there
pretty much on the road,
to keep that lifestyle going?
Fruit picking and factory jobs and random stuff like that.
And did you find that was relatively easy to come by back then, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy on the road. Opportunities usually present itself to you. So
that's what I hear all the time. Yeah.
You'll be able to maybe get a few cash in hand jobs.
Yeah, I might have to speak to you after this, get a few tips, mate. Got any connections? All right, Luke, well, thanks for sharing all that with us, mate. You've obviously had such an interesting life, and you're a really interesting character as well, and it shines through in your videos. So I just want to say good luck with everything moving forward, and we'll be watching.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.